Okay, in the previous session we set up our mixing desk. So what we're going to do for this session is we're going to start on the mix down. Now, the first thing to do, or what I always do, is prioritise the mix into the most important instruments. Now, with dance music, for me the most important aspect of this that stands head and shoulders above the rest is the groove. It's the foundation of the record that every other instrument will sit upon. So basically what we need to do is we need to start by mixing down the drums and getting them sounding absolutely the best that we possibly can, make them sound really well together. Then we'll add the bass on top of that and try and make that groove gel and sound the best it possibly can, and then we'll begin to drop further instruments on top of our solid groove. So the first thing we need to do is we need to find where all the drums are playing together, solo these down and start mixing these drums down. So the first thing we can do is we'll solo these drums, and then we'll find where they're all playing, which there basically they're all playing together there, so we'll get just that part there looping. Now, the first thing to notice with these drums is when we were programming, if you've got the previous DVD, you'll notice this, that we did use some Sound Toys Echo Boy on these, and that's quite a stereo delay, so you'll notice that some of these are in stereo there. Now, ideally for mixing we want to be mono. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to start by playing this back and we're going to reduce each of these to mono and see if it makes a huge difference to the sound of the drums. If the sound isn't that significant, we can change it to mono and leave it in mono. If it makes a significant difference to the sound of the drums, then we'll leave it in stereo. So the first thing to do is try and make everything as mono as we can, and obviously a few are going to have to remain in stereo, but we'll go through and we'll have a listen first. So our first one here, our hat there, so obviously you can hear a massive difference there. If you're having trouble hearing that, I'll gain it up for you. Echo Boy is obviously working a lot of magic on that, and if we move that to mono, it doesn't sound anywhere near as good. So what we need to do is need to keep that as a stereo. And the next one is the shaker chorus here. I think we'll gain that one up. Yeah, there's a slight difference there when we switch to mono, but it's not a huge difference, so I think what we'll do is we'll turn that one to mono. We have our open hi-hats. We'll gain that up so we can hear it a little bit clearer. Not an awful lot of difference there, so I think what we'll do is we'll leave that one in mono, or at least we'll move it to mono, and we'll keep that one in mono. Onto our tambourines. Again, we'll gain this up so you can hear it. You get a clear distinction of what it's doing in the stereo field. Well, I think that sounds okay in mono. In stereo, there's not a huge difference there. So we'll have that in mono. There's a huge difference there. So we'll leave that one in stereo. Gain this up. Not really a huge difference there. We'll leave that one in mono. Our shakers. Again, not a huge difference there either. There's a slight difference here, just a slight difference in the stereo field, but I think we can leave that one mono as well. And we'll do is I'll just take these away again now. We can bring these back as we need them as we mix down, but we know they sound now. We've sorted out our mono to stereo. And as you see, we've got a lot less now that's stereo. We've only got 2 channels now rather than around 5. So the first thing we want to do now is we want to start mixing down. Now, as I said, we just want to work on our drums first, make those sound the best they possibly can first and foremost. So what we'll do is we'll mix these down. Now, the kick we don't want to touch yet because we're going to use this as our main foundation for our levels, so we want to mix everything to this kick. So what we'll do first of all is we want to mix the clap and get this clap sitting in, and the best way to start is push it right up so you can hear it clearly and then pull back. Now the trick here is, as you're pulling back, try not to listen to the clap, but listen to the rest of the drum loop and listen to the difference it makes to it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at high volume. I'm going to pull right back. Now as I pull further and further back, listen to how the drum loop changes as the clap disappears. Try not to listen to the clap, but the drum loop. Can you hear that? Can you hear the drum loop's dynamics change? The overall, obviously the overall sound will change, but there's a huge difference if you don't listen to the clap but just the rest of the drums, and how the dynamics of that drum loop change when the clap begins to disappear. And that's the key, I feel, to mixing, is to listen to how the rest of the instruments change as you pull in and out. And instead of listening just to the clap as you balance by moving the volume up and down, listen to the rest of the instruments and stop where you feel that the instrument comes back in and helps the rest of the loop without becoming overpowering in itself. Now I think it's about there. If we take it any lower, the instruments seem to lose the body. It seems to lose the dynamics of that rhythm. What we'll do is we'll send that out now to our first reverb, which, remember, if you recall, is our short reverb. Send that right out and we'll start pulling it back. Take that out all together and bring it back. Right. I think we can leave that for now. And what we'll do is move on to this clap reverse now. Very difficult to hear that, so what we'll do is we'll start by gaining that up. Send that out to our reverb. And take that out. Sounding bad there. Let's go on to our hi-hat now. reverb. Again, we're using the same reverb because we only want short reverb on our drums. It would be silly to put, for example, the tambourine on a huge reverb and then the rest of the drum kit's on a very short reverb. It'd sound like the tambourine was in a totally different room. So you generally keep the same reverb for all the drums. These up. Throw that out to our reverb again. And you can hear a massive difference when you take that away. But you really have to listen hard to notice it there. Move on to our hi-hats. Again, all those out to our reverb. They all sound well together, but they still sound a little bit crowded. So what we're going to do is we're going to start panning. Just throw our two claps, just left and right. And we'll listen to this. Just creating a bit of a stereo space now with these few instruments here, and then we'll move on to the rest of our drums. Sounding quite well, that man. Once our tambourines, we'll just gain those up. I'll send this out to our reverb again, our first one again. Throw that right over to the left there. Onto our... Now these make a huge difference to the dynamics of the drum loop. What we'll do first of all is we'll send those out to the bus. Those over. So these collapse up a little. Again, we're listening to the whole drum loop. Don't listen to a specific instrument as you adjust it. For example, listen to how this affects the drum loop. Try not to listen to this one timbre. these up. Send those out to our reverb again. Now what we'll do there is we stop it from playing. We've had a quick mix of these drums, we've played around, we've generally put the reverb on, we've panned them around, we've adjusted the volumes. What we do now is we stop it from playing, give ourselves a few seconds and then start by playing it again, and we see if anything immediately sticks out at us, and then we can jump in and adjust that. Again, we'll just take a quick pause and then. Now that's sounding quite together. It's sounding a lot better than it did. It's gelling. I think what we need to do now is we need to go in and we need to start using some EQ on the channels. Not only to make them fit together better, but also make them sound a little bit sharper. For example, the clap here, it's got a lot of bottom end energy to that you can hear while it's playing, and it's muddying the bottom end of our drum loop. So what we're going to do is we'll call some EQ up on this clap, and we're going to cut out some of that bottom end and possibly give it, say, a high mid frequency boost, and possibly a little bit of compression as well, just to flatten it out that little bit. So we'll start by calling up our SSL. Now, I'm pretty sure on the frequencies here I wouldn't have to listen to it. I can tell you straight away that we're going to have to place a cut at the low frequencies, round about there. We're going to be placing, I'd say, about 100, 200, 180 to 200 there, sorry. And we want to give it a slight boost up here as well. So what I'll do is we'll play that back. If you listen to the clap there when I'll just adjust these. Now what we'll do is we'll compress it. You just want to catch the clap there. There's no need to really go at it. We just want to catch it, and then we'll roll off some of this bottom end. It's around 200, and then place a cut here. And you hear how that's removing the heavy body of the clap. I'll say it's around 400. You can hear that. Hear that part there. That's what I want to take away. I want to make that a little bit thinner. Much better, and then we'll give it a slight boost. So I need it around 2k. Now if we bypass that, you'll hear a huge difference here. I'll just turn this down to the same volume. Can you hear the difference there? Can you hear it sounds like a little bit cleaner, it doesn't sound as muddy anymore. Okay, let's just have a listen. Right, next I think we'll move to this hat. And again, we'll put some EQ on this hat for now. So this one's stereo. And I want to remove some of the bottom end from that. So place a cut. And then a little bit of high mids. Boost that all the way up. I'd say it's around 4.5. Yeah, you hear that sound there, that sharpness. That's what I want. I really want to bring that out in this. So, and then we just take that top end up. So 5k. And if I take this away, you'll hear the difference. Just take that down a little. Let's go to this shaker chorus, and again, we'll throw in an SSL here. Now you can hear immediately there, I could hear that before. There's a lot of deep end there that I don't really think we need, so I'll take quite a bit of that out. And give the sweep through and just capture that. And 3.5. And a slight boost at the top end, around 4k. And what we'll do as well, I think we're going to compressor over that as well, just to calm it down a little. It seems to be a little excited. Just want to catch it there. Just catching it there. Just now and again when it goes over. Just take that down. Listen to the difference again. Take it down a little bit more. Move on to these hats, and again the SSL across. Straight away we want to remove all the bottom end from these, and again let's just have a look at that now. I can hear some energy up at the and 3k there. Let's move on to the tambourine. Now the whole point of this EQ here is, as well as making room in the mix for each instrument, we're more or less at the moment concentrating on making the timbre sound nice. We're trying to bring it out and bring out the best parts of that timbre. So for example, that's quite a weighty bottom end there that we don't really want, so we'll take that away. But it has a nice sparkly top, so what we need to do is find that sparkly top, which I'd say be around 3k there. Just give that a slight boost. Just get that sparkle out of it. Give that a little bit more reverb. Bypass that, you'll be able to hear the difference there. There's a lot more muddy at the bottom there. When you put the EQ in, the muddiness seems to disappear. Again, bottom end energy, take it away, because this is a hi-hat after all. It shouldn't have an awful amount of bottom end energy. I'll say all we need to do is just around 8k, give this a small boost. Hear it there, You can hear straight away the difference that gives. It gives it a sparkle, a higher top end. Pull the SSL up on this one as well. The important thing to do, which very few people I find do, is actually listen before you start jumping in and twiddling. So have a good listen first. You can hear frequencies. You got to remember, we've boosted plenty of frequencies around here, but nothing around here yet. So what I try and find the right timbre around here. Onto the shakers. And we'll take the bottom end out of that. And what we can do is around 5k, give it that little bit of energy. Now I'm not going to adjust the crash just yet, because I'd like to get more instrumentation in before I start playing around with the crash, because it doesn't form the basis of these drums that we have here. Now again, what we're going to do, stop it from playing, gives ourselves a couple of seconds just to relax our ears, and then we'll start playing it again. If anything sticks out, we jump straight in and adjust that. So let's just play that back now. Now that's sounding quite well to me. What we're doing now, I'm going to play back the original drums. And if you just have a listen to those, and then we're going to play this one back. So here's the original drums before we started mixing. And now here's our mixdown drums. So what we'll do now is we're going to introduce the bass bottom and the bass top. We're going to introduce these into the mix, and then we'll start to mix these in it and mix all these together to get this bottom end really grooving along. Now obviously we don't want to pan the bass. If we pan the bass, we're pushing the energy away from the middle of the speaker, so we need to keep that dead centre. Well, that's not sounding bad at all, that. What we will do is we'll call up our SSL on that. So we don't want to pan it, we don't want to add reverb to it. All we want to do is just a little bit of energy in there that I'm not very keen on. There it is, it's a little bit. And our low mids here. Let's stop that and then just play back. Bring in the bass top. Now I said this has to be stereo. If we move that to mono, lose the energy there. Lewis, will EQ this now? Rid of a little bit of the bottom end there. It's a little bit too heavy on the bottom end. And we'll cut some of that top away. What we need to do is just compress that. Want to catch the very top. Again, we'll stop that from playing, give ourselves a quick few seconds rest, and then we'll play it back and see if there's anything sticking out at us. must point out here that the mixing bass is fairly difficult unless you have a very, very good set of monitors. So this may sound a little strange on your monitors or on your headphones or whatever you're listening to it on. I hope you're listening to it on headphones, but it may sound a little deep or perhaps a little too heavy, but that's simply because you're listening on headphones or you've not got the right monitor environment. The way I'm listening to it here, this is sounding right with this bottom end of the bass. So if it sounds a little bit heavy, just carry on with how it is for the moment, because it is most probably created by reflections in your room, and when it comes to a later stage when you listen to it and we're getting on with the mastering, you'll probably be able to hear how it is correct. Okay, I'd say there that basically we've got the drums down. We've got the bass bottom, the bass top down. It's sounding quite well and quite gelled. That's what we're going to do. Is now we've got the bottom end groove of the record. We're going to move on and drop in our instruments on top of our groove and see if we can balance those out.